जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तेरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय ललिता विशाखा जय राधे श्याम ललिता विशाखा जय राधे श्याम जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम जय वृंदावन धाम जय गौर निताय जय गौर निताय निताई गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल। जय जय प्रभुपाद, 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 प्रभुपाद। निताई गौर सीतानाथ प्रेमानंदे। जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्टों विष्णुपाद परमहंस परकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर कृष्ण कृपा मूर्ति अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टों विष्णुपाद परमहंस परकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर कृष्ण कृपा मूर्ति शिला भक्ति सिद्धांत श्री ठाकुर प्रभुपाद महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त महाराज, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त बंदे की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि से वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री मत्था धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। श्री श्री मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय। श्री गंगा माई की जय। श्री यमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। युगधाम हर नाम संकीर्तन की जय। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। शिल प्रभुपाद ट्रांसडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद-गीता यथारूप की जय। निताई गौर सीतानाथ प्रेमानंदे। All glories to assembled devotee. All glories to assembled devotee. All glories to Guru and Gaurang ki jai. Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone in the evening session of Bhagavad-Gita. So please accept my humble obeisances unto all the Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, and also I welcome the online viewers who are with us in this evening session, Bhagavad-Gita session in Sri Krishna Balaram Mandir, ISKCON Vrindavan. So today in this session we are going to read verse number 12, chapter 15. The chapter name is Karma-yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. Verse number, we will go through verse number 12. Okay? So, let us offer our Mangalacharan. गुरुवे गौर चंद्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सैगं रघुनाथवितं तं सजीवं सावधूतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां सैगं ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश धारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वांछा कल्पतरुभिश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासां ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीगुरुदीनतारणं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा। Yes. So today is the verse 12. So repeat after me. Yuktaḥ, one who is engaged in devotional service. Karma-phalam, the result of all activities. Tyaktvā, giving up. Śāntim, perfect peace. Āpnoti, achieves. Naiṣṭhikīm, unflinching. Ayuktaḥ, one who is not in Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Kāma-kāreṇa, for enjoying the result of work. Phale, in the result. Saktaḥ, attached. Nibadhyate, becomes entangled. Yuktaḥ karma-phalam tyaktvā śāntim āpnoti naiṣṭhikīm ayuktaḥ kāma-kāreṇa phale sakto nibadhyate. Yuktaḥ karma-phalam tyaktvā śāntim āpnoti naiṣṭhikīm ayuktaḥ kāma-kāreṇa phale sakto nibadhyate. Yuktaḥ karma-phalam tyaktvā śāntim āpnoti naiṣṭhikīm ayuktaḥ kāma-kāreṇa phale sakto nibadhyate. Yuktaḥ karma-phalam tyaktvā śāntim āpnoti naiṣṭhikīm ayuktaḥ kāma-kāreṇa phale sakto nibadhyate. Yuktaḥ karma-phalam Yuktaḥ karma-phalam tyaktvā āpnoti naiṣṭhikīm ayuktaḥ kāma-kāreṇa phale sakto nibadhyate. Okay, translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the result of all activities to me. Whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. Please repeat after me. The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the result of all activities to me. Whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. Purport. The difference between a person in Krishna consciousness and a person in bodily consciousness is that the former is attached to Krishna, whereas the latter is attached to the results of his activities. The person who is attached to Krishna and works for him only is certainly a liberated person, and he has no anxiety over the result of his work. In the Bhagavatam, the cause of anxiety over the result of an activity is explained as being one's functioning in the conception of duality, that is, without knowledge of the absolute truth. Krishna is the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead. In Krishna consciousness, there is no duality. All that exists is a product of Krishna's energy, and Krishna is all good. Therefore, activities in Krishna consciousness are on the absolute plane. They are transcendental and have no material effect. One is therefore filled with peace in Krishna consciousness, but one who is entangled in profit calculation for sense gratification cannot have that peace. This is the secret of Krishna consciousness, realization that there is no existence besides Krishna is the platform of peace and fearlessness. Srila Prabhupada ki. So this chapter is named Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. And in this chapter, the last verse is the peace formula. The peace formula is given in this chapter, the last verse. Bhoktaram yaktapsam sarvalokam maheshwaram suhridam sarvbhutanam gyatva mam śāntim richati. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. So how to achieve peace? This formula is given in this chapter in the last verse. So now, today we are going to read and we will try to understand this verse. So this is the verse number 12. So in Bhagavad-Gita, as we know, there are 5 subject matters. 5 subject matters of Bhagavad-Gita. Do you know? Can anybody can say? Yes?
Karma, living entities.
There are 5 subject matters. One is, first is the living entity. The soul, the first. And the second is super soul, Paramatma or Krishna. And third is material nature, Prakriti. And fourth is time, eternal time. And fifth is karma. Karma. So in this 5 subject matter, the 4 subject matter are eternal. We cannot change it. Right? Atma is eternal, Paramatma or Krishna is eternal, Prakriti is also eternal. It may be temporary, but it is not false. Right? And time is also eternal. But the karma and the result of karma, they are not eternal. They can be changed. The karma-phal can be destroyed. Right? This we have to understand. So, everybody is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities he has obtained from the material nature. Nahi kasya kshanamapi jato tishtati akarmarkit. So we cannot stay. We cannot refrain from doing something, not even for a moment. We cannot stay idle. We have to do something. So, but who is the doer? I am the doer. Soul is the doer. Mind is the doer. Body is the doer. Who is the doer? So it is said, prakriti kriyamanani gune karmani sarvasha ahankar vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of qualities that are actually carried out by three modes of material nature. This is our actual position. That's why so any activity or each and every activity which is performed by us, that is the influence of these three modes of material nature. By the influence of that modes of material nature, we are forced to do all the activities. Either they are pious or they are sinful activities. We have to accept the result of that activities. Every action has its reaction. We have to accept. So Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita 3.9, yagyarth karmano nyatra lokoyam karam bandhana tadartham karam kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. Work done as sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in the material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction. In that way, you will always remain free from bondage. So now, in today's verse, Krishna says, yuktaḥ karma-phalam tyaktvā śāntim āpnoti naiṣṭhikīm. Yukta means one who is engaged in devotional service. Karma-phalam tyaktvā. The results of all activities, giving up. Śāntim āpnoti naiṣṭhikīm. Perfect peace. He will attain the perfect peace when he will giving up the results of his activities. He will attain the perfect peace. And those who are ayuktaḥ kāma-kāreṇa phale sakto nibadhyate. Whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. So, in chapter 4, if we will go in the last chapter, verse number 41, where Krishna says to Arjuna, so Arjuna is confused by listening these words from the mouth of, lotus mouth of Krishna. What Krishna said? Krishna said, yoga sanyasta karmanam. This is 4.41. Try to understand. Yoga sanyasta karmanam jnana sanchana sanchayam atmavantam na karmane nibdhananti dhananjaya. Here Krishna said, yoga sanyasta karmanam. One who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his actions. Renouncing the fruits of his action. Krishna is actually meant to say renouncing the fruit of his action, but what Arjuna understood? Arjuna understood that we have to renounce all the actions. Not the fruit of the actions, but all the actions. By this particular verse, if we'll go through it, yoga sanyasta karmanam. Karmana means all the activities. We have to renounce all the activities. But Krishna wants to say not the karmana means the all activities, but the fruits of all activities. So here Arjuna was confused. Krishna is saying we have to renounce all the activities. It means we will not go in the war and we will not engage in the war. It's very good. And then next, what Krishna says, tasmat jnana sambhutam ritastam jnana sanatmana chitvenam sanchayam yogam atishta bharata. Therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. Armed with yoga, O Bharata, stand and fight. Next verse, Krishna is saying, stand and fight. And in the verse 42 and 41, Arjuna understood that Krishna is saying, don't fight. Sanyasta karmanam. Now, he is totally confused. So, in the beginning of the 5th chapter, Arjuna is questioning. What he is questioning? Sanyasam karmanam Krishna punar yogam cha shansasi yashreya iturekam tanme bruhi sunishitam. Arjuna said, oh Krishna, first of all, you ask me to renounce work. You ask me to renounce work. And then again you recommend work with devotion. Now, will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial? This is the first verse of chapter number 5th. And from verse 2 to verse number 6, Krishna explained Krishna replied Arjuna's first question. And in dukham aptam ayogyata yoga yukto munir brahma na chiranadi gacchati. Merely renouncing all activities yet not engaging in the devotional service of the Lord cannot make one happy. Merely renouncing all activities yet not engaging in the devotional service of the Lord cannot make one happy. But a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without delay. So in this verse 6, after verse 6, from 7 to 12, this is the second section. And in this section, Krishna is telling Arjuna what are the symptoms, what are the characteristics of a person who is engaged in devotional service without expecting the results of his karma. What are the characteristics of a yoga yuktaḥ? The person who is engaged in devotional service means niškām karma yoga. What are the characteristics? So from 7 to verse 11, the 5 verses are related to the characteristics or the symptoms of a person who is niškām karma yogi. And in the today's verse 12, is the summary of these 5 verses. This is the summary of 5 verses. In this today's verse, it is clearly, here is mentioned, the steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace. Unadulterated peace means naiṣṭhikīm, perfect peace. Because he offers the result of all activities to me. Whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. Now, here is one very important thing. What Arjuna asked in first verse of this chapter. Arjuna is asking, what is asking? He is asking, what is the difference or what is better? To renounce from the work or to work with devotion without expecting the result? What is superior? Please let me know. So, but in this particular chapter, in particular verse, Kṛṣṇa is mentioning one thing more. One thing more, what is that? Renunciation and working in the spirit of renunciation are same. Renunciation and working in the spirit of renunciation are same. But for Arjuna, working is better because premature renunciation is distressful. For Arjuna, Kṛṣṇa is saying, though it is same, if you are niškām karma yogi or you are accepting the renunciation, that is the same. But for the premature stage, on the premature stage, it is very distressful. Now, in this particular verse, in the first verse, there is a comparison between the niškām karma yogi and the renunciation. Which is better? Arjuna has asked. But Kṛṣṇa has now explaining one more thing in this today's verse. What is the difference between, not between the renunciation and the niškām karma or the work with devotion, but Kṛṣṇa is now giving one more thing, that is the karma. What is the karma? Karma yoga, what is the difference between the karma yoga and karma? So now the comparison is between three aspects. We have to see this verse. What is the difference between the renunciation, karma-yoga, karma-yoga means nishkam karma-yoga, and karma? So today's particular verse, Kṛṣṇa is comparing. What he is comparing? Kṛṣṇa is comparing ayuktaḥ kāma-kāreṇa, phale sakto nibadhyate. Those who are not engaged in devotional service, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. Arjuna was not asking about the karmi. He was not asking about the karmi. But now Kṛṣṇa is explaining what are the result. Who is karmi? Who is karmi? What is the result? So in this particular verse, today's verse, ayuktaḥ kāma-kāreṇa, who is not attached with the devotional service, he will becomes bound, entangled. So today's in verse, everything what we are doing, every action will bound us in this material nature if it is not connected with the Supreme. This is the nature of this material world. In the Padma Puran, it is said, aprarabdha phalam papam kotam bijam phalonmukha karmaneva priliyate vishnur bhakti ratatmanam. Aprarabdha phalam. Aprarabdha phalam means that which has not commenced. We have performed activities, but the result of that activities had not yet commenced. That is called aprarabdha phalam. Papam means sin. Kotam means those activities that results are stored in the go down. Bijam means seed, and phalonmukham means waiting to take effect. Karmaneva priliyate vishnur bhakti ratatmanam. So means there are different stages of dormant reactions to sinful activities to be observed in our life. So there are mainly 4 categories which is explained in Padma Puran, and Prabhupada is also explaining about this one of his lecture. Yes. So, it is also stated that all these 4 effects become immediately vanquished for those who surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, and become engaged in his devotional service in full Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Those effects described as almost mature refer to the distress from which one is suffering at present and the effects lying as seed are in the core of the heart, where there is a certain stock of sinful desires which are like seeds. The Sanskrit word kuta means that they are almost ready to produce the seed or the effect of the seed. An immature effect refers to the case where the seedling has not begun. From this statement of Padma Puran, it is understood that material contamination is very subtle. Its beginning, its fruition and results, and how one suffers such results in the form of distress, are part of a great chain. When one catches some disease, it is often very difficult to ascertain the cause of the disease, where it originated and how it is maturing. Prabhupada is explaining. The suffering of a disease, however, does not appear all of a sudden. It actually takes time, and as in the medical field, for precautions' sake, the doctor injects a vaccination to prevent the growing of contamination. The practical injection to stop all the fructifications of the seeds of our sinful activities is simply engagement in Krishna consciousness. What's saying Prabhupada? Prabhupada is saying, as the doctor is giving us the injections to recover from the disease, so this devotional service is also like that. To engagement in Krishna consciousness. So, in today's verse, it is said also, what is the power of the devotional service when we are engaged in the devotional service without expecting the results? We are totally released from the fruits of the karmas. If we have a punya karma, pious activities, that is also cause of bondage. If we have pap karma, sinful activities we have performed, that is also the cause of bondage. Because if we have to enjoy the fruits of our pious activities, we have to take the birth. And that is the cause of miseries. One time when Maharaj was going with his disciples to take the dip in Yamuna river, so Maharaj told his disciples, this Yamuna, who will take the dip in this Yamuna, his all the sinful results of his sinful activities and the results of his pious activities will vanquished, destroyed. Now, some of his disciples were reluctant. So we should go to take the dip, not. All the pious results of the pious activities will destroy. This is the power of Yamuna river. This is the pact between the Yamuna and Yamaraj. They are both brother and sisters. Those who will take the shelter of Yamuna, they will not come in the jurisdiction of Yamaraj. They are both brothers and sisters. When Prabhupada was staying in Radha Damodar Mandir, he was used to go to Delhi, take the dip in the Yamuna river. Prabhupada was daily going to Yamuna river. In the same way, the Kṛṣṇa and his external energy, Durga, they are also brother and sister. They have also understanding, they have also pact. Those who will take the shelter of Kṛṣṇa, simultaneously, he will away from the Durga. Or those who will take the shelter of Durga, they will keep distance from the Kṛṣṇa. This is the pact, this is the understanding. Kṛṣṇa Surya sam maya hai andhakar. Jahan Kṛṣṇa, tahan nahi maya adhikar. Those who will take the shelter of Kṛṣṇa, then the maya will not touch them. And those who will take the shelter of Maya, Durga, they will maintain a distance with Kṛṣṇa. So this is the fact. So those who don't want to destroy their pious activities or results of the pious activities, they cannot enter in the kingdom of God. So it is a very serious subject matter. So how we have to destroy our all the karmas, either they are pious or they are sinful. The results of our pious activities or sinful activities. So in the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada has given a very wonderful their purport in Canto 4, Chapter 24 and verse 56. Chapter name is Chanting the Song Sung by Lord Shiva. In this particular verse, the purport, Prabhupada is explaining. In Bhagavad-Gita 10.34, it is said that Lord in the shape and form of death destroys all a person's possessions. Kṛṣṇa comes in the form of death. Mrityu sarva harashyaham. I am all devouring death. The Lord in the shape of death takes away everything that is created by the conditioned soul. Whatever things we have accumulated in this material world, one day Kṛṣṇa will come and take away all these things. Mrityu sarvashaham. So, the Lord in the shape of death takes away everything that is created by the conditioned soul. Everything in this material world is subject to perish in due course of time. However, all the strength of time cannot hamper. Prabhupada is saying, however, all the strength of time cannot hamper the activities of a devotee. For a devotee takes complete shelter under the lotus feet of the Lord. For this reason only is a devotee free from formidable time. All the activities of the karmis and jnanis which have no touch of devotional service, those who are jnanis also, they have no touch of devotional service, are spoiled in due course of time. The material success of the karmis is destined to be destroyed. whatever they have accumulated. Similarly, the impersonal realization attained by the jnanis is also destroyed in the course of time. To say nothing of the karmis, the jnanis undergo severe austerities to attain the impersonal Brahmajyoti, but because they do not find the lotus feet of the Lord, they fall down again into this material existence. Unless one is fully situated in an unalloyed devotional service, there is no guarantee of liberation. Even one is elevated to the heavenly planets or to the impersonal Brahma effulgence. A devotee's achievement, however, is never lost by influence of time. One who is seriously engaged in devotional service, Prabhupada is saying, he is never lost by the influence of time. Even if a devotee cannot completely execute devotional service. Prabhupada is saying, even if a devotee cannot completely execute devotional service, in his next life he begins from the point where he left off. Very interesting. What is the power of devotional service? Such an opportunity is not given to the karmis and jnanis whose achievements are destroyed. The bhakta's achievement is never destroyed, for it goes on perpetually, be it complete or incomplete. This is the verdict of all Vedic literature. Suchinam Shrimatam Gehe, Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe Yoga Bhrashto Vijayate. If one is unable to complete the process of bhakti-yoga, he is given a chance in his next life to take birth in a pure family of devotees or in a rich family. In such families, a person can have a good opportunity to further progress in devotional service. Last para. When Yamraja, the superintendent of death, was instructing his assistants, he told them not to approach the devotees. The devotees should be offered respect, he said, but do not go near them. Thus the devotees of the Lord are not under the jurisdiction of Yamraj. Yamraja is a representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he controls the death of every living entity, yet he has nothing to do with the devotees. Simply by blinking his eyes, time personified can destroy the entire cosmic manifestation, but he has nothing to do with the devotee. In other words, the devotional service which is rendered by the devotee in this lifetime can never be destroyed by time. Very wonderful. This devotional service which we are blessed by Srila Prabhupada, we are engaged in the devotional service, chanting daily, regular our rounds, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it will never be destroyed. And it will remain always. It will remain always unchanged. No effect of time. So this is the power of the devotional service. So when we are doing the work for Krishna, we attain the peace, perfect peace, we attain all the benedictions while we are doing the activities for Kṛṣṇa without expecting the results for our personal gratification. Those who are not engaged in the service of Kṛṣṇa, they becomes entangled. And life after life, they have to remain in this material world and they have to suffer all the results of their activities. They have to suffer. Birth by birth. This is a very vicious circle, death and birth. So, unless we are engaged in the service of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kṛṣṇa, there is no scope, there is no hope for our liberation. So, we stop here. Okay. If is there any comments or any question, you may ask. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Sitanath Premanande, Hare Hare. Yes. Yes. Huh?
Someone is not able to chant.
Huh?
Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Chanting is one 9 forms of devotional service. Shravan, Kirtan, Smaran, Vandana. So, what is the option for him? Is other methods also equally powerful, or chanting is only more powerful? Chanting is more powerful.
Chanting Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. Hearing, Shravanam, hearing. Krishna Katha and Kirtan and chanting. These are the main 2 pillars of this 9 bhakti. These 9 activities of bhakti, these 2 pillars are the main pillars, Shravanam, Kirtanam. If you are not able to chant, why? Is there any particular reason?
It is like due to offenses, due to no taste for chanting. Like that.
No. You have to chant. First of all, we have to chant. Either we are doing offensive chanting. While doing offensive chanting daily, we will come on the stage on the namabhas. Offensive chanting and then namabhas and then these are the pure name, Shuddhanam. So these are the stages. Nobody will recommend what you are thinking. That is baseless. You have to chant in any way you have to chant. You have to engage your tongue. If Krishna has given you tongue, you have to engage your tongue in the service of Krishna. Our bhakti starts with the tongue, to engage our tongue, to chanting the holy name and eating the Krishna Prasad. these are the first steps. These are the two first steps we have to start our bhakti. Okay? Anything else? Okay, thank you very much. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता यथारूप की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, निताई गौर सीतानाथ प्रेमानंदे हरि।